Wounded but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. Your scars are not proof you're broken. They're proof you're chosen. The word says in Romans 8:28, and we all know that things work together for good to them that love God. That means even your deepest wounds are part of God's plan. He's shaping you. He's strengthening you. He's preparing you. As my artist that I love the most, Daryl Coley, he's preparing me. He's preparing us all. Isaiah 61:3. That must be another scripture I need to say. Promises he will give you beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. So don't despise your scars. They are the evidence of his faithfulness and a sign that he's not finished with you yet. He's preparing me. Many people are thinking about all the things they went through, all the ups and downs, all the trials and tribulations. And a lot of us are still walking around with the wounds instead of looking at the scars that was caused and healed from the wounds. Every wound you carry, every tear you cried, it's not wasted. God is using the very pain you thought would destroy you to prepare you for the purpose he created for you. Not the one you created for you, but the one he created for you. And I'm going to give you a definition of wounds and scars. A wound is a break in the skin or other body tissue caused by injury, surgery, or type disease. Types of wounds include cuts, abrasions, punctures, and surgical incisions. Wounds can be open, exposing underlying tissue or issues in your life. A lot of people right now are walking around earth with a lot of open wounds, a lot of tissues that are exposing their underlying issues, or closed skin intact. Healing involves several phases: hematosis, inflammation, proliferation, and remodeling. A lot of people have the healing need to start with forgiveness. A scar is a result of the healing process after a wound. Scars from when the skin repairs itself, leading to fibrous tissues, replacing normal skin. They can vary in appearance, texture, and color, depending on factors like the wound severity and healing time. Remember, part of your healing is you got to heal from the wounds of life, heal from the wounds of trauma, heal from the wound of sexual assault, sexual abuse, heal from the wounds of child abuse, heal from the wounds of domestic violence, heal from the wounds of abandonment, heals from the wound of lack of trust, heals from the wound of people constantly hurting you, people constantly tearing you down, heal from the wounds of your lack of self-worth, your lack of self-value, your lack of self-control, your lack of self-esteem, your lack of security in who you are as God called you to be. Scars may fade over time, but typically do not return to the original skin condition. So, if you get a boo-boo, I used to tell my kids and my grandkids now, I said, you got a boo-boo, let Nene put some medicine on it. Let me pray over it. Let me put something on it so you can get healed. A lot of us in this world are walking around the world with unhealed wounds. And we're thinking, oh no, they scars, I'm healed, I'm good. I don't need no help from nobody. I don't need nothing from nobody. I don't need no counseling. I don't need no church. I don't need no pastor. Matter of fact, sometimes I don't even need God. But when you say those kind of things, God be listening, the devil be listening also. Like, oh, so you don't need him? Oh, so you need me. So let me pull you over here into my world. Let me give you what I'm going to give you over here. Not telling you the full truth that I'm going to use your wounds of your life and never give you scars that are healed. Never heal your scars. Never give you scars that are healed from the wounds in your life. So you're thinking, you may feel overlooked. You may feel like your past disqualifies you. But the truth is, your scars are the evidence that you've endured. Endurance is victory. Remember, Morgan Rees wrote the book, Endurance is Victory. And that God has a plan for far greater than the pain you've been through. So you're still thinking, but Morgan, you don't understand. You're not even getting it. You're not even comprehending. You're not even, oh, baby girl, baby boy, young man, young woman, child, boy, girl, don't matter who you are. I do, because I promise you, I wrote the book about A lot of wounds that I endured, a lot of wounds that I overcame, I conquered, I persevered through, I survived from, which was sexual assault, which was child abuse, which was physical, emotional, and mental abuse, which was domestic violence of 17 years. I was with a husband a man who I thought was with my husband, my man, because I chose that man, not because God chose that man. And so again, God will allow, and he allowed to happen, even if he didn't make that choice for you. Even if he didn't make that decision for you. If he said you need to go right and you said, boo, I ain't going right, I'm going to go to the left, and we're not listening and we're not realizing, because obedience is better than sacrifice, that we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, the wounds that we have, the wounds that we endured, the wounds that we are still wallowing in, the wounds but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. Wounds but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. Wounded but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. Everything that you went through, everything you suffered from, everything you still not figuring out, trying to understand and wonder why. You still in that roller coaster ride? It's because you're not healed. You don't have scars from the wounds. You don't have like a little boo-boo where you see, well, what happened there? Oh, that was something I cut myself, or I ran to this, or I did this, and it's just a scar. You're still holding on and you're babysitting your wounds. You're still carrying on the wounds of life. Wounded, but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. So if God's plan is in your scars, and he has a purpose and plan for us, he knew who we were before he formed us in our mother's womb. He doesn't want us to continue to be still walking around this earth like, woe is me. Why am I still going through this? Why am I still experiencing this? Why is it still happening to me? What is going on? Why me? Why me? Woe is me. He like, yo, wait a minute. You can't keep singing that same old song. He don't want to hear that no more. He want to hear that, hey, I overcame that. I'm getting healed. My scar has appeared. I overcame that. I'm getting healed. My scar has appeared. But the scars that we got, we were wounded, but chosen. The scars that we received, we were wounded, but chosen. God has a plan in all the scars that we received from the wounds that we endured. Y'all not really catching me. Y'all sitting there like, Morgan, what are you talking about? You're not understanding. You're walking around this earth with pain, brokenness, unhealed trauma, unhealed hurt, unhealed rejection. You're trying to figure out, well, this happened to me? Why am I still here? And that happened to me. Well, even if I made the mess, I'm just going to stay in the mess because I made the choice, I made the decision, I made that mess because that's my wound, because you made the mess. Well, I'm just going to stay here. And he said, no. Your wounds make you chosen, but I have bigger and better plans for you. But if you keep wallowing in them wounds and keep saying, woe is me, I don't understand how I'm not going. You don't want to begin that healing process. And part of the healing process, not just forgiving the people that hurt you. You got to forgive you. I'm not telling you something that I have not experienced myself, that I did not have to go through on my own or myself. That's why I'm trying to tell everybody. That's why endurance is victory. Because I had to go through those things. I had to go through ripping the Band-Aid off of a scar that I thought I still had when it was actually still a wound. Because you notice when you rip a Band-Aid off of a wound, eventually it forms into a scar or it disappears because you are healed. And God said by his son's stripes, we are healed. Wounded but chosen. God has a plan for our scars. Wounded but chosen. God has a plan for our scars. His thoughts is not our thoughts. His words are not our words. His actions are not our actions. His ways are not our ways. When we kind of do things on our own and we don't want to listen, or we want to be stubborn and rebellious and operating in those spirits or that disobedience of spirits, where spirits are where we saying we're going to do things our way. God said, all right, boo-boo. You go ahead and do you. I'm going to let you go ahead and do you. And I'm going to see how long that work out for you. I know, because that was me for a very long time. When I stayed in that relationship that I should have not stayed in for 17 years of hurt, of disappointment, of sadness, of why did I make this choice? Again, you heard the words what I said. Why did I make this choice? Why did I get myself, how did I get myself into this? Remember, I'm listening to the words I'm saying. How did I get myself into this? Because remember what the word said, and his words never return back void. He's not a man, he shall lie. What I put together, let no man separate. What I put together, let no man divide. Now, it ain't going to be roses and peaches and cream the entire relationship. You're going to have your ups and downs, but because he is in the relationship, he is in the communication, he is in the process. He actually was the one that was in the picking and the choosing, and not you in the picking and the choosing, because either you didn't want to wait for God to send who you wanted to have, or who he knew you should have, or you didn't want to listen to what he was saying. I was like, no, that person ain't that person. And you said, man, they looking good though. But they got this. They got the fine houses. They got the fine cars. They got more money than I do. I have an ulterior motive. When you're thinking in a selfish way, or you're not using your heart and your mind for good intentions, he like, okay, boo, you go ahead and do you. And I'm going to let that play out. And I'm going to see how that work out for you. Wounded, but chosen. Because at the end of the day, even when we make bad choices and decisions that was not pleasing to him, he still has a plan for the scars that we endured through the wounded process. Wounded, but chosen. God has a plan for our scars. Y'all not understanding, you're not comprehending. You like, Morgan, really? Now that I'm really thinking about it. Wow. And this I'm gonna add a little icing to your cake. The chocolate icing, chocolate frosting, which is what I love. I love chocolate. Listen to this chocolate drop right here. He loved us so much that even when we made bad choices and decisions and we acquired a lot of wounds, some of the choices and decisions was not in our control. Some things happened to us that we could not have controlled. We had no hold over it. We had no nothing over it. Even through all those things that took place, he still says, don't worry about it. For what Satan meant for evil, I'm going to turn to your good. But what I need you to do, one thing. Come a little closer. I need you to obey me. And many of us don't, especially people that are in the church. They say, oh, I know more than God. I don't need to obey God because look where I'm at. Look at the title I gave. Look at the title I have. Look at the things that I'm doing. Look where I'm at. I'm on the right track, but sometimes you're really not, boo. You're really not on the right track because you may got your pinky toe in the door, and the big toe is like kind of like right beside it, trying to get into the door and get your whole foot into the door, but you're really not because you still are broken. You still got unhealed trauma. You still got unhealed pain. Wounded, but chosen. God has plans for your scars. He has plans for your scars, but guess what you got to do? You got to put in the work. And when we don't put in that work, now we on this earth, we still hurting other people. We still bullying other people. We still impacting other people from the impact that we received over our life from whatever our trauma is, whatever our brokenness is, whatever our hurt is, whatever our pain is. We are spilling all that on to anybody and everybody that push that button, makes you snap, and you be like, dang, I did that. And I said, I'm part of a church. I said, I love you, God. I said, I'm going to follow you, God. I'm going to try to do the best thing I can. I'm going to try to do the right thing for right reason. And wait a minute. This ain't even the icing on the cake is. The icing on the cake is once you do those things, then you forget how you need to humble yourself and go back to that person and say, hey, I may have said something inappropriate. I apologize. Can you genuinely accept it and you genuinely mean that I apologize? I'm sorry I said the way I said. I'm sorry I popped off the way I popped off on you. That's not who I am. That's not who God wants me to be. That's not who God called me to be. Wounded, but chosen. God has plans for our scars. Y'all know you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. When we know better, I promise you, we must do better. Because you can't keep still saying me. Why me? I can't believe this happened to me. When you are the block. You are the delay. You are the cause why the things that God has plans for you is being delayed, is being in stagnated mode, is being in complicated mode, is being in frustrated mode because it's something that you need to do. Something you need to do, whether it's go back and forgive that person that did what they did to you, get healed from your trauma and your brokenness, or at least try to attempt to even put in the effort. If you put in the effort, he said you take one step, I take two. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take the rest. If you let go and you let me. And again, guys, I'm not sharing with you what I had not learned for myself, that I'm not still learning for myself. Like, I'm really telling y'all, this is not what I'm not learning on my own. And it took me a long time to finally really get this, like, so really I was kind of messing myself up on some things. I know all things was not my fault. Life was life. And the people that were over my lives, in my lives, and a part of my lives allowed these things to happen. But then there were things that I kind of did on my own, that I kind of brought on myself. So, wow. Yeah, it was kind of me doing what I was doing. But thank God for grace. Thank God for his mercy. Thank God, because favor really is fair. Because technically, he can still let us wallow in our mess. He can still keep us where we were not supposed to be, we don't want to be. That's why we're in the last days right now. We're living in end times right now. We're living in judgment. And if y'all eyes are still not open to realize and comprehend the things that is happening, that there are so many other wounded people who were actually chosen, because remember, he knew who you was before you formed in your mother's womb. But you decide, I'm going to do what I want to do, I'm going to do, and you're getting what you're getting. But when you decide to humble yourself and take down that me mantle and take down that selfish mantle and be like, and walking in them spirits operating as all about me, and say, you know what, God, it's not really all about me, because technically you're going to make it about me when you do what you need to do after you clean me up. We wouldn't be having the things that happen, because people are saying, well, why would God let this happen? Why would God do this? And as I was talking to my big brother, he said, technically, you know, as we said, big sis, he said, God ain't do this. You did this. You're bringing these things on because your heart and your mind is not clear. And the only thing you're thinking about is me. And he says, stop thinking about you. Think about me, focus on me, concentrate on me, and everything, all these things will be added. Stop idolizing money. Stop idolizing man, woman. Stop idolizing children. Stop idolizing clothes, fashion, cars, the finest and fanciest things. Even when God blesses you with those things, he does not want us to idolize those things and worship them more than we worship him. And again, he not saying we got to come in here all cleaned up, pristine, polished up, like what's that Murray soap that you use to polish your furnitures and stuff, and it's that wood furniture and it comes out shiny clean. He don't want us to be shiny clean. He just wants us to say, God, I messed up. I made some mistakes. I was out here doing some shenanigans I should have not been doing. I made some bad choices and decisions in my life. I'm going to hold myself accountable. And what I need for you to do, please, can you please help me? Help me get out of this mess that I put myself in. Not you put in, not even Satan put it in. I put my own self in. Can you help me get out of this? And guess what he's going to say? I got you. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure I lead you not into your own understanding, but I'll make sure I lean you into my understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your understanding. For all your ways, acknowledge him, and only him can direct our path. Only him can guide us the way he wants to go. That's why I always ask, God, order my steps, guide my feet. Help me control the things that come out when I say things out loud, because as I interviewed my big brother the other day, he said the power of our words, and I've been learning the power of your words can speak death or life. When you continue to speak negative and you keep just saying, well, I put myself in this mess. I'm going to stay in this mess. And he said, well, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you're going to happen. And you're going to continue to receive what you're receiving. You're going to continue to struggle. You're going to continue to have strife. You're going to continue to have issues. Wait a minute, hold on. Not going to say even when you come to the Lord, you still don't continue to have that because of who we are. We still going to continue to have that because remember, Satan already knows who we are before we know who we are. It's just that it'll be a little easy. He's going to give us tools in our tool belt. He's going to make us strong, bold soldiers. So when he give us and send these fights and he send us these oppositions and he send us these issues, we're going to be equipped to be able to do what we need to do. Wounded but chosen. God's plan is in our scars. Wounded but chosen. God's plans is in our scars. Yeah, God's not even understanding, you're not even comprehending. There's a whole nother reason why we deal with what we deal with, why we go through what we go through, why we endure what we endure. Because the plan is not made for us. The purpose is not meant for us. It's for him, for his purpose and his plan. We all have assignments. It's just that a lot of us don't want to fulfill those assignments because we be like, look, things be happening and people doing what they doing and I want to follow the bandwagon and you want to maybe operate in the competition spirit, the jealousy spirit, the envious spirit, and I want to be like this person. How about just be like you? Don't be like Mike, be like you. Don't be like Susie, be like you. Because if you would be like you, we wouldn't be operating and enduring in times right now. We would not be currently in judgment right now. In the year 2025, currently as of August, we are in judgment. We are experiencing end times. Planes still falling. Fires are still brewing. Earthquakes is on its way. Floods is going to take over cities and states, and they're not going to be ready for it, my Lord, my Lord. Calamity is on its way. You're already seeing the things that are happening amongst the world. Things that are occurring amongst the earth. And he still got his arms stretched wide open. His hands stretched out to us and say, hey, come on over here. I got you. Because you're my child, I got you. But until you come back to being my child, I'm going to let you go through that journey, that path that you're going on. I'm going to let you go ahead and endure what you're enduring. I'm going to let you go through what you're going through. But what I want you to do is learn the lessons out of that. So when I help bring you out of it, because I know time is up and time is winding up for many of us, because he's separating the good from the bad. He's separating the good from the evil. He's separating the nice from the bad. He's separating the love and the unloved. He's showing the people who they're really who has a good heart and who doesn't. Because remember, we were all born with wicked and evil hearts. We don't even know who we are and the things we'll do at the drop of a dime. But only God sees and he knows our heart. And when I tell you, he's watching the things that are happening on the earth and he's not pleased. He's not happy. He's very hurt. He's very angry. The thunderstorms that came across for like the last few weeks, I heard the thunder and I heard the anger. The wrath is here. But we still got time, dudes. Dudettes. Yo, we still have time. We still have time. Time is not really on our side, but we still have time in the Lord. Wounded, but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. Wounded, but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. Let him heal your wounds, the wounds of your past, maybe the wounds of your present, maybe the wounds of the things of the decision that you made on your own and you did not give him a chance to help you, or you did not know that you can give him a chance to help you. Wounded, but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. Get your healing, get your deliverance. Yo, so he can use you according to the purpose and plan that he purposed for you. He gonna clean up your boo-boos. And your boo-boo mainly is your heart. You wasn't ready for that. Your boo-boo is mainly your heart. And if your heart is not healed, your mind is definitely not healed. wounded but chosen. God's plan is in your scars. Get your healing so you can start walking around with those wounds, and you can just say, I got a scar here from this happening to me. I have a scar for that happening to me. I have a scar there that happened to me. But by the grace of God, I am healed, or I am healing, or I'm in the process of being healed. And again, part of that healing is forgiveness. You forgive them because he forgave you. If you don't forgive them, how can you ask him to forgive you? Or how can you put stipulations on, well, I forgive them, but you add a but to it. I forgive them, but you add cause. I forgive them, but you don't understand. He understands, he sees, he knows everything. He does. He didn't ask you for that. He says, if you want me to give you my true unconditional love and forgiveness, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to give your true love and your true unconditional love and forgiveness towards the person who hurt you, towards the person who fumbled you, to the person who mishandled you, the person who made you promises, and unfortunately, they knew they couldn't keep those promises because they knew where their heart was. They knew where their mind was. But they did the best they could for the journey, the time that they got with you. And when their chapter came to an end, because remember, people are in our lives for reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. A lot of people are not meant for our lifetime. He has plans, like this shirt that I got on. Let's fly, eagle. Fly like an eagle. He wants us to fly like an eagle. And if he wants us to fly like an eagle and we still hold on to that, but that person did this to me, and this person treated me this way, and this person said this about me, that person said about me, that about me. How are you going to fly as high as an eagle and soar as high as he's going to take you? How can you go to those places that he has planned for you and you still hold on to that? Well, I made this mistake. I made this mess. I'm going to sit in my mess. Why would you want to do that? Especially if you're not happy. Why would you say, I'm unhappy, but I'm going to sit in my unhappiness? This is not the choice I thought I wanted. Now that I see where I'm at, I'm going to still stay here because I made this choice, so I'm going to stay in it. And God's sitting there looking at you like, really? That's what you want to do? When I opened the door several times for you, and both times every time you kept closing, and you said, well, God, you said you was going to send me this person. I sent them to you, and you fumbled them. You didn't know how to treat them. Well, God, you said you was going to give me this job. I gave you the job, but you still had to complain about it. You still was moaning about it. You still was huffing and puffing about it. Well, God, you said you was going to give me this ministry. Well, I gave you the ministry, but you didn't know how to do the ministry, or you fumbled the ministry, or you was still operating in yourself instead of operating in me. Again, he hears our prayers. He gives it to us. But everything he keeps giving us, he said, no, that ain't from God. No, that ain't from the Lord. He would not. Or you messed it up, or you got something to complain about, or you're not humble, you're not grateful, you're not thankful. He said, well, why you keep coming to me asking me for this? But then you say, but wait a minute, hold up, God. I messed up. Can you forgive me again? Can you love me again? And he said, hey, I gave you instructions too, which was what? Obey me. Which is what? Forgive. Which is what? Love and unconditional love, because I give you unconditional love. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me twisted now. Don't get it all messed up. Just know, even if they hurt you, you have enough wisdom and discernment that you won't wallow and keep going back to that person. You can just love them from a distance. You can love them from afar. Like, I love you. I'll always love you from the bottom of my heart to the bottom of yours, but I already know we can't stay in the same place. We can't roll in the same vibe. We not on the same page. If I have a conversation with you about apples and we talk about apples the whole time, and then all of a sudden you want to talk about bananas, you're like, we talking about bananas. Well, where did bananas come from? I thought we were still talking about apples. We not on the same page. We not having the same language. And when God connects you with the person he gonna connect you with, you have same conversations. You like the same things. Even down to your intimacy, you like and enjoy the same things. Down to different things that you have, dreams and goals and aspirations in life. You all on the same page. You ain't got to create yours and then they piggyback off of you. They ain't got to create theirs and you piggyback it off of them. You're all on one accord. What God puts together, let no man separate or divide. Wounded but chosen. God has plans for your scars. You guys have a great weekend. Please be safe. Please enjoy your weekend. I know where I live at right now, God has given me grace and favor. He He's giving me fall before fall. Then another month, my birthday is coming up and I'm a fall baby. So I am enjoying the fruits of his labor, that he took away the heat. He gave us a break from the heat, and he's giving us cooler weather. I know in some parts of the world, like Florida, they're getting 100-degree weather, unfortunately, sadly. They in other places, they're getting 100-degree weather. Other places, they're getting freezing cold weather. But God gave me grace and mercy for where I reside, where I'm at, where I'm enjoying every night when I can sit outside and not be in scorching heat. God's grace. Y'all have an amazing weekend. Remember, wounded, but chosen. God has plans for your scars. God had plans for my scars. I was wounded, but I'm chosen. And he had plans for my scars because I was willing to put in the work, which is what you need to do. He can't use you the way he truly needs to use you because you refuse to do your homework. Be blessed.